10:30 already. Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies. These sessions always go by in a blur.
Yeah.
And you always feel kind of frustrated that you haven't managed to get all of the points across, but it's very difficult. You know,
Yeah.
it's a short period of time. There's a very wide range of different questions we're getting from the audience.
Yeah.
And as you saw, there were a lot of people who wanted to morph the discussion from outsourcing into bidding.
And this is new reality, right? This is interactive events. Yeah.
Correct. And the reality is that they are related, of course. You know, the structure of outsourcing will have a major impact on how you as a supplier handle your bidding.
Yeah.
You know, you're now dealing
yeah.
with two different entities. You're dealing with the guys who are maybe doing the shortlisting and the people who are making the decision.
Yeah.
So you've got to think, how do you design your programs to attract both of those? And also, well, do you incorporate outsourced type services within the bidding that you're putting forward? I mean, for example, do you say, yeah, well, here's our bid to host your conference in 3 years' time, but by the way,
yeah.
we're offering these and these technological global services that you might be interested in the 3 years.
Exactly.
So there are many different ways of, once you realize that the associations are constantly reviewing their strategic structures and their business models, you can start to then, as long as you interrogate them properly and find out about this, you can change the way that you position your offering as a supplier. And increasingly, the market is shifting between those who are offering commoditized products
yeah.
and those who are offering strategic partnerships.
Yeah.
And if you're a strategic partner, you are trying constantly to look for other angles that build on that partnership, because you don't want to be outflanked by another outsourcer who's providing something else, who suddenly adds in meetings management services. Exactly. They might be the brilliant communication agency stroke tech agency.
And they say, hey,
and they say,
well,
we can do this. Yeah, we can just find our own tame local PCO to provide commoditized registration, content management, etc. And we'll focus on the marketing.
It's an important takeaway of today, I think.
It is. The competition is no longer the PCO in the next town or the next street. The competitor could be an ad agency or a PR agency or a web company or a company like yours.
Exactly.
You know, the issue of, or an association could be trying to jump in.
Serving other associations, yeah, exactly. So, that's kind of, instead of helping you in these 2 hours and making your world more simple, we might have made your world a little bit more complex.
One of the great truisms of everything that we do is that we never make life simpler.
Exactly.
We might give some simple takeaways, but the world is complicated. And the more that people understand it is complicated, and ask the individual, this is the whole thing of associations, you cannot deal with it in a mass way. You've got to actually take the time to individually find out what makes that association tick. And outsourcing is just one part of that total equation.
Yeah. In the meantime, I see Jolien, our wonderful production manager here, and she's coming up with some, as we mentioned a couple of times, this whole show, for the 2nd year in a row, is sponsored by the Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau. So we thought, how about adding some Thai flavor into the meeting right here, and closing off, since you guys are in the afternoon right now, you might be, after this session, maybe you have one more session, then you go for drinks. So. Although it's lunchtime here in Amsterdam.
Somewhere in the world it is past sundown, and so time for a beer.
So before we close down, we're going to cheers together with the whole crew, with Gerrit and everybody with a Thai beer, but not before. We give our audience some pointers on where they can continue. For example, if they have become interested in ICCA. First of all, we talked in the pre-show about the virtual goodie bag that is on the website, where you can download this wonderful piece of publication, The Modern History of Association Meetings, but also can read all you want about ICCA, what it means, what it can be for you. And definitely you can read a lot and see a wonderful clip about Thailand as a business destination, and their payoff is Thailand Connect. And I think that is exactly what they have been doing here this morning, so that's wonderful. What else about ICCA, the Congress? Where's the Congress this year?
This year we're in Antalya in Turkey, it's the 1st to the 5th of November. So we already have more than 500 people registered, even though it's the beginning of July and we're meeting in November. So we're expecting 1,000 or 1,100. And unlike this meeting, where it's primarily the front, the sales and marketing guys who are dealing with clients on a day-to-day basis, we tend to attract the thought leaders and the heads of businesses to the Congress. So it's 2/3 CEO and director level. and about, say, 1,000 or 1,100 people from about 70 countries.
So this is
one of the most global,
place to be.
Yeah, and this is where we'll be talking about the philosophical concepts and the way the market's moving.
Exactly.
This event is much more about the practicalities. What do you do? The concrete steps.
And online, they go to ICCAWorld.com, right?
ICCAWorld.com, all the information about ICCA is there, our events, our programs, the downloadable things. The modern history, the history document, that's a freebie for anybody in the world, because we want to talk about the importance that associations play in the whole of global society and economy.
Exactly.
It's not just about ICCA.
Which reminds me, if you haven't done so, if you're still on the website, you can see that a little bit below, you can actually register, leave your details, so we can include you in the follow-up communication of this online event. In about 1.5 weeks, the videos of this whole show will be online. We'll notify you through an email right there. We'll filter out the survey results, and the survey that you've been talking about, we can communicate that. So definitely, if you haven't done so, drop us your email address down there so we know who you are and we can actually follow up with you. Last thing before we close off right here, below the player there's a link where you can fill out a 1-minute survey about the show and how you experienced it. We definitely want you to do that so we can also keep on learning and improve this stuff, and definitely would like to know from you, if we do this again next year, what should we be talking about so we right on track and right on topic.
Exactly.
So that is kind of everything I had to do in the household message. I think, Gerrit, you did a wonderful job in the chat. People, you really got them going. Jarno, thank you very much for everything. It's time to say cheers.
Thanks to the online audience.
Thanks to the online audience.
Yeah.
I hope by
Thank
now
you.
you had a chance to grab a drink as well. We say cheers from Amsterdam. We're signing off,
Cheers.
and we hope to see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
How will you inspire the minds of many? Will you provide new perspective that will allow others to see a world full of opportunities? Will you create a voice that captures the imagination of a kingdom? Will you share a welcoming smile that has others feel like royalty? Will you bring the world together via the speed of sound or the hush of a jungle? Will a rich culture and the arts become the fabric of your attendees? Will you stimulate their senses with cuisine envied by the world? Will you forever change the definition of a meeting room and inspire creativity in the beauty of silence? Will you redefine the meaning of work-life balance and create a venue that will have attendees feeling forever connected? Create the moments that inspire the minds of many. Connect people, inspire the world. Thailand.